WandaVision. It's a bit of a weird show. I'll give it that. It's a bit of a weird show. So, I had just got done watching the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, and let's go over the first episode first, just my general thoughts on that. I think that the introduction to the show, where it's like this whole 50s sitcom setting and idea, I think that's really unique to this show. I don't really think I've seen that. Actually, I know I haven't seen that in any other Marvel property. It's got to be like probably the most unique touch that they added to this series, because I really like that. Then we get to the plot of the first episode, which is, it's like a typical 50s sitcom plot where they have like a day on the calendar and neither of them remember what it is. Wanda thinks it's their anniversary. Vision finds out it's actually the day that he was going to have his boss over for dinner, and that led to a lot of fun, crazy moments. It got a little weird there towards the end with the whole his boss was choking on the food thing and Vision removed it from him, but then it just turned right back to the crazy sitcom that we all came here for, so that was interesting. I think the first episode was probably the weirdest episode out of the two, but then we get to the episode 2, which you could argue is the weirdest episode, but I wouldn't, because episode 2 is what I expected the first episode to be. The first episode was just kind of a pilot sort of thing. The second episode was really where they started getting stuff going, started setting stuff up, like they start finding colored objects in the black and white world. That's what I forgot to mention. This show is in black and white for the first 2 episodes, which I think is a nice touch. I think that's really what gives it its unique like flavor in the MCU, because the MCU really needs some uniqueness to it, because a lot of the shows in the MCU kind of get a little bit of bland, a little bit of the same, unless you count shows like, Daredevil on Netflix. But yeah, this show really brings it into its own universe, and I think that's really what leads it to be probably one of the better shows that we're going to get on Disney Plus for Marvel. So the plot for the second episode, there's a talent show for like the children, and Wanda's invited to be a part of the talent show, and Vision is training for his magic act for the talent show. And I think that was a really good plot. And then Vision goes to a neighborhood watch meeting, and that was a really fun scene, really funny moments there for Vision. And he eats some gum, and it kind of plugs up his system a little bit. And that was those moments where Vision was sort of a little loopy from the gum in the side of his system. That was so fun to watch. Paul Bettany did an amazing job with that. He acted like a drunk Vision almost, so that was interesting to see, and it was really funny the way that turned out. The talent show, everything about that was probably the funniest part of the show for me so far. But then at the end, he gets his systems unclogged. The talent show turned out to be a success for them, and then we get into the weird stuff. Let's get into the weird stuff now, because when they were preparing for the talent show, there was this voice over like the radio next to him, at least what I assume is the radio next to him, that says, "Wanda, who's doing this to you?" Something like that. That's going to be an interesting storyline. I want to see where that leads to. So that's going to be basically probably coming up pretty soon, because at the end of the second episode, everything like turns to color, but like not after this weird stuff happens where Wanda is suddenly pregnant, and then they hear a noise. Then we got Vision going to check on what the noise is, and like this beekeeper figure pops out of the sewer. Not quite sure who that is, but Wanda says no, and then like rewinds it to back when they were, and that was interesting. Then everything turns to color at that moment, so I really want to see where that leads to. I'm really excited for the next few episodes. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.